independence. Today, we're diving into the extraordinary life of ፀሃይቱ Baraki, known as the Sun of Eritrea, exploring how she transformed from a traditional entertainer into a revolutionary artist whose music became a weapon of resistance. By the end of this episode, you'll understand how music can preserve culture under oppression and why her story matters for anyone interested in the power of art as activism. So let's start with the woman herself. Who was ፀሃይቱ Baraki and what made her so legendary?
ፀሃይቱ Baraki was born in 1939 in a small town called Kwatit in what was then Italian East Africa, now Eritrea. But here's something fascinating. She actually thought she was born in Asmara, the capital, until she was 60 years old when her sister finally told her the truth in 1999.
Wait, she didn't know where she was born for 6 decades?
Exactly. She moved to Asmara as a baby, and it wasn't until she returned there in 1999 that her sister Rishan revealed the full story. It really shows how displacement and colonial upheaval affected entire generations.
That's incredible. So when did her musical journey actually begin?
She started playing the kra, that's a 5-string harp, when she was about 8 years old. Initially, she played at weddings and parties, but by 16, she'd left school to make music her full-time career.
16 years old and already a professional musician. What kind of music was she making at that time?
Well, according to the sources, she was inspired by other female artists like ፀሃይቱ Gergish, Fana Etel, and especially ፀሃይቱ Zenar. Some of these early songs were quite bold. One of Zenar's songs was literally titled, "I Need a Man as Soon as Possible, Even if He's Crippled."
That's pretty direct for the 1950s. So she was already pushing boundaries early on.
Absolutely. And here's what's really remarkable. People would travel from as far as Addis Ababa in Ethiopia just to record her music. She wrote all her own lyrics and compositions.
That's a serious draw. But I understand her music took a political turn at some point?
Yes, and this is where her story gets really fascinating. From 1964 tour onwards, her lyrics became increasingly political. She later said that people were surprised that I dared to sing them.
What was she singing about that was so surprising?
According to the biographical sources, her songs addressed themes of identity, liberation, and cultural continuity during Eritrea's struggle for independence. Remember, this was during a period of significant political upheaval.
Right, and Eritrea's independence struggle was a 30-year war, according to the CSIS report. When did she become actively involved?
From March 1977, she became actively involved in the Eritrean independence struggle. But this decision came with serious consequences. She eventually had to flee the country.
She had to leave because of her political involvement?
Exactly. She first moved to Sudan, and then in 1988, she ended up in Rotterdam, Netherlands. According to Music in Africa, when the situation became too bad, she too had to flee.
So here's this woman who went from singing in beer houses to becoming a political refugee. That's quite a transformation.
It really is. And what's fascinating is that even in exile, she continued to be known as the Sun of Eritrea. Her courage and inspiration still meant a lot to all Eritreans, according to the sources.
Let's talk about her time in Rotterdam. What was she doing there?
Well, initially, she was discouraged and not playing much anymore. But then something remarkable happened. A musician named Terry X found her by coincidence and built her a new klar.
He built her a new instrument?
Yes, and after some practice sessions, they decided to record a CD together. This became the album Selim on Terp Records in 2004.
Tell me about this album. What made it special?
It's extraordinary. The album is a double CD with more than 2.5 hours of music, and it includes an 88-page book with interviews about her life, culture, and history, plus old photos and lyrics in both English and Tigrinya.
2.5 hours of music? That's like a musical autobiography.
Exactly. The 17 songs span different periods of her life, from her very first successes to brand new material commenting on the latest developments in Eritrea. And she played all the instruments herself, the kra, kebero, and bass kra.
What did this music sound like to Western ears?
According to Terry X, who produced the album, to Western ears it is largely unknown music, with strange, beautiful rhythms and moving, almost blues-like ballads.
Blues-like ballads from Eritrea. That's an interesting connection.
It shows how universal certain musical emotions are. The project took 4 years to complete, and many people worked on it out of respect and love for ፀሃይቱ's music and person.
4 years is a long time. What was the goal behind this massive project?
Terry X said he wanted to make this wonderful music available to Western music lovers, but he also realized it was the heritage of Eritrean culture and understood how important ፀሃይቱ was for the Eritrean people, both young and old.
So it was about cultural preservation as much as musical sharing.
Absolutely. And this gets to something really important about ፀሃይቱ's legacy. According to biographical sources, she was renowned for her ability to blend traditional melodies with contemporary influences, incorporating elements from various ethnic groups like the Tigrinya, Tigre, and Saho.
So she was like a musical bridge between different communities?
Exactly. Her work reflected a deep understanding of Eritrea's diverse cultural tapestry. She became what the sources call a cultural ambassador who helped preserve Eritrea's intangible heritage amid rapid social and political changes.
That's a powerful role. When did she return to Eritrea?
She returned to Asmara in 1999. That's when she learned the truth about her birthplace from her sister. So after more than a decade in exile, she was finally able to come home.
What was her impact during those final years?
According to the biographical sources, she continued to be celebrated for her pioneering spirit and mastery of traditional Eritrean music. Her influence extended beyond entertainment. She had become an emblem of national pride and a voice for the aspirations of her people.
And she passed away in 2018?
Yes, on May 24, 2018, in Rotterdam at age 78. According to the sources, her death marked the end of an era, but her recordings, compositions, and the cultural movements she helped foster remain vital to Eritrea's national identity.
What strikes me is how she represents this incredible paradox. A woman who sang in beer houses but became a symbol of resistance.
That's such an important observation. She started as entertainment, literally singing to attract men to traditional beer houses in Asmara, but evolved into something much more significant.
It shows how art can transform, doesn't it? From entertainment to activism.
Absolutely. And what's remarkable is that she was essentially creating protest music before it was even called that. Her political lyrics from 1964 onwards surprised people who expected traditional love songs.
She was ahead of her time in that sense.
Definitely. The biographical sources note that her musical journey was intertwined with historical currents, and her songs frequently addressed themes that went far beyond personal relationships to tackle identity and liberation.
What do you think her story tells us about the power of music during political upheaval?
Her life demonstrates what the sources call the vital role of music as a form of resistance and unity in times of adversity. Music became her weapon, but also her way of preserving culture under threat.
And that preservation aspect seems crucial. She wasn't just fighting against something, but fighting for something.
Exactly. According to the sources, she was dedicated to preserving and promoting Eritrean musical traditions while also adapting and innovating. She managed to honor the past while speaking to the present.
That balance between tradition and innovation seems to be at the heart of her legacy.
Yes, and the sources emphasize that her work continues to be studied and appreciated today, serving as a testament to the enduring power of music as a force for cultural resilience and national identity.
So when you step back from everything we've covered, what's ፀሃይቱ Beraki's lasting impact?
She proved that an artist can be both entertainer and revolutionary, that music can preserve culture while challenging power, and that a single voice can become the soundtrack to a nation's struggle for freedom.
Her story shows how art and activism aren't separate things. They can be the same thing.
Absolutely. And for anyone interested in how culture survives oppression, ፀሃይቱ Beraki's life offers a masterclass in using creativity as resistance.
From a small village in Kwatit to becoming the son of Eritrea, that's quite a journey. Her music became the heartbeat of a movement, proving that sometimes the most powerful revolutions happen one song at a time. Thanks for joining us on Copilot Podcasts. Next